The claim is not Trump is a politician. The claim is Trump was and is positioned as a wartime executive in an economic, informational, and legal war to end central bank-style debt slavery and return sovereignty, economic, legal, even spiritual, to actual people. In plain English, end rule by debt, restore rule by consent, shine light into darkness so people can see reality, end double standards, replace debt notes with honest money, replace coercion with mutual consent, replace trust us institutions with verifiable, auditable settlement. That's not just vibes. We can track it all through his actual moves. First, we have to understand what the office can actually do. Under Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution, the President is both Chief Executive of the United States and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. The Commander-in-Chief clause gives the President direct authority to direct military operations and deploy force to protect our national security, especially once a conflict or threat has been defined. This authority is broad. There is a legal instrument called Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act of 1962. In 2018, Trump used Section 232 to impose a 25% tariff on steel and a 10% tariff on aluminum, explicitly justifying it as national security. If we don't control steel, we don't control tanks, bridges, energy grids, pipelines, ships, aircraft. Trump used the office to say, we are taking that control back. This is Sun Tzu 101. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Let's timeline the strategy from January 20, 2017 forward. Economic realignment 2017 to 2020 and continuing now. Trump begins hammering America first. The U.S. starts openly using tariffs, including Section 232, to force adversarial and even allied nations to the table. Tariffs are reframed as a replacement for hidden taxation of U.S. workers. Trump's model says, no, you're going to pay to access us, and that payment will be used to rebuild our own production. That is de facto economic insurgency against the debt for labor slavery model. What happens when corruption, foreign influence, cartel money flows, and organized global trafficking networks are defined not as political controversies, but as national security threats? Answer: those things now fall under military purview, intelligence purview, and wartime continuity authorities. This is key to understanding the Q posts as a psychological, informational, battle space element. You assist the population in recognizing the war they're in, so when decisive, lawful actions are taken, public consent already exists. That's asymmetric warfare through disclosure, not tanks in the street. Let's connect sovereignty and money, because this is where XRP plus XRPL and trustlessness come in. For 100 plus years, control of money equals control of nations. Central banking structures create currency as debt, lend it into existence, and then make you work your entire life to pay back interest on money that was fabricated. You replace just trust us money with prove it money, every unit accounted for, every movement auditable, instant settlement, no middle priesthood skimming 2%, 5%, 20% forever. That's what you mean by trustlessness. You don't have to trust an institution because the ledger itself enforces honesty. If corruption, money laundering, human trafficking, and foreign capture are defined as national security threats, then the President, as Commander-in-Chief, is within his Article 2 lane to direct operations to identify, disrupt, replace the infrastructure that enables those threats. The end state is one set of books, one set of rules, mutual consent, not coercion. Because once you lock value transfer to transparent math and mutual consent, you end secret bribes, off-ledger wars, laundering networks, That is justice for all. Sun Tzu says, know yourself. Know your enemy. Attack strategy, not armies. Win the war before the people even realize a battle was fought. Don't engage the enemy at full strength where there's strong legacy media, captured courts, supranational banking. Q's core repeated themes. These people are stupid. Trust the plan. We are giving it back to you, dark to light. Q acts as narrative air cover for a multi-year psychological and legal operation to transfer power back to we the people, not just theoretically, but operationally. The plan is to build bridges to trustlessness based on the highest moral law, mutual consent. You cannot have mutual consent when one side is lied to. So, reveal fraud, consent is reset, illegitimate power structures lose their cloak, sovereign people regain standing. Because you can't dismantle a global parasitic system quietly. From 2017 to now, what have we watched? Trade wars, tariff wars, currency wars, media wars, censorship wars, information ops, lawfare, indictments, non-stop attempts to criminalize one man's existence. When advisors and opponents are fighting in public about whether a president has plenary authority over the military domestically, they're arguing over, can the executive legally use military authority to restore order if civilian institutions are captured or corrupted? That is the end game in any continuity of government wartime power scenario. Who is the sovereign, the banker or the people? And the oath, critically, is sworn to the Constitution, not to a party, not to a bureaucracy, not to a global cartel. Now we test all of this against God's law and simple morality. God's order is consistent. Truth is light. Light reveals corruption. Consent matters. Honest scales and balances belong to the Lord. Proverbs 16:11 is explicitly about economic justice. No rigging the measure, no cheating the counterparty. Trump's plan translates this into modern systems. In God we trust equals all others verified. Truth XRP, XRPL equals justice for all. Trump declared the end of priest-class intermediaries who sit between you and your own labor energy. Is that consistent with Christ's pattern? Flip the tables of the money changers. Is it consistent with the Declaration of Independence? Yes. Is it consistent with Sun Tzu's mandate to win without destroying your own people? Yes. So morally, lawfully, strategically, it lines up. Here's how the movie ends. For 9 years, whether people understood it or not, they watched a president operate as if humanity was in a live extraction from a debt control matrix. Instead of saying we're overthrowing everything tonight, the mission was teach the people to see the cage. Prepare the public mind for a new standard, mutual consent plus honest ledger equals justice. Because once we the people accept this standard, the old system dies instantly. It cannot survive universal transparency. Trump's plan becomes a constitutional reset. We shine light into the dark. One standard of law. One standard of money. One standard of consent. Sovereign people, not managed livestock. In God we trust. All others get verified. That's not a slogan. It's our operating system for a post-slavery civilization. It's Trump's cool plan. He's earned our forever gratitude. Here's a paradox that will shatter everything you think you know about trust and money. What if perfect trust in God actually requires putting zero unchecked trust in any human being? What if the phrase "in God we trust" isn't about blind faith, but about mathematical verification? Welcome to a parable about why trustlessness is the highest form of faith. In a creation governed by immutable laws, there's no maybe, light or dark, truth or falsehood, one or zero. Imagine a courtroom where every claim must be proven with evidence or it is dismissed. That courtroom is the cosmos. If we want a money system worthy of the name honest, it must operate like that courtroom. Proof first, praise after. The structure of existence down to quantum logic and DNA reflects this binary reality. When Christ said, "Let your yes be yes and your no be no," he wasn't offering polite advice. He was pointing to the metaphysical architecture of truth itself. At the quantum scale, particles flip between being and not being. The universe computes in ones and zeros. Look closer. Spirals in galaxies, the Fibonacci in sunflowers, the ratio in shells. These aren't accidents, but examples of mathematical order. Every constant, every proportion, every ratio is a law of perfect reliability, never arbitrary, never deceitful. Math cannot lie. When we honor math, we honor the Creator's design. That's why any system claiming trustlessness must be rooted in verifiable, repeatable, mathematical certainty. Here's where it gets revolutionary. Saying, "In God we trust," becomes a practical method, not a slogan. The logical expression of that faith is not blind reliance, it's fidelity to God's law of truth. A God-honoring financial system must not assume trust. It must prove truth. Trustlessness isn't faithlessness, it's the highest faith, because it submits human judgment to divine verification. Think of a lighthouse. Faith without verification is a light hidden by fog. Verification clears the lens. To claim truth without validation is to bear false witness. Our allegiance to God's math compels verification before trust, proof before proclamation. That's why honest money must operate on validated data inputs, because anything less pollutes the ledger with partial truth, and partial truth is falsehood. Picture equations appearing like carved runes across the sky, each proof lighting a block into place. Step by step, the divine equation reveals itself. Faith equals obedience to truth. Truth equals that which can be proven true. Proven true equals verified by immutable law math. Therefore, faith in God equals verification of all things. Those are not abstract words, they describe a civilization built on proof. When every record is validated, corruption withers and confidence grows. Proof is the evidence of faith aligned with truth. Without it, our financial trust is a sandcastle at high tide. In this binary world, where truth either is or isn't, a God-honoring monetary system must function on God-verifiable law math. Imagine a divine ledger that accepts only validated inputs, KYC that proves identity, AML that proves integrity, real-world data feeds that are authenticated before they touch the record. A divine computer processes each datum with perfect accuracy. True inputs glow and lock. False inputs are rejected and fade away. That demands 100% fidelity to data collection and validation before solving any equation, before proving truth as one, and before publicly recording it as true. A monetary system is 1 or 0. A woman is pregnant, 1 or 0. I am that I am, 1 or 0. Math is perfect, 1 or 0. Water is wet, 1 or 0. Let verified truth be the basis of our shared ledger, and let every entry be incontrovertible. This is why perfect trust in money systems requires putting no unchecked trust in any human being, because we all fall short of trustworthiness. But God's math never fails. In trustlessness, we trust, because in mathematical verification, we find the only foundation worthy of our faith. If you want a civilization that honors "In God we trust," build systems that demand proof, not promises. Let freedom ring through verified truth, and let every ledger be a testimony. Proof before praise. From the cool, show with gratitude. Love to you all. Live by laws and principles. Period. To keep them is to honor. To abide is to dwell in trust. And to stop questioning the design, that's where peace begins. All, omni, infinite. Fear isn't your enemy. It's a sacred signal, a divine alert that your faith's got a small leak, an invitation to purify the silver once more. Believers aren't immune to the issues of life, but we're fully equipped by law for all. Not luck, laws, period. The Word of God is medicine. It's called Gospels.